Hello and welcome here to Tampa Bay Times Forum for today's game, matching up the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Tampa Bay Lightning. So we'll get right into it with the tale of the tape. So we're giving the Leafs the edge in this one. Although the Tampa Bay Lightning do have a better power play and penalty kill, the Leafs have a better all-around team with 71 points, 5th in the NHL standings, and a 32-19-7 record. Next, we have the injury report. A couple injuries for both teams. The Leafs have David Clarkson out with a hip pointer for 4 weeks, and Gunnarsson is out with a hip injury suffered 2 nights ago. And the Lightning are still missing Nikita Kucherov, who has an MCL sprain and is still out 8 weeks. And finally, your starting goalies. Bernier starts for the Leafs with 28 wins, 2.35 goals against average, and a .923 save percentage. Bishop gets the start for the Lightning. 22 wins, 2.21 goals against average, and a .926 save percentage. Now that we're through all that, we're ready to start tonight's game. The Leafs are 7-2-1 in the last 10, and we're underway. Franz is starting it off with a little deke, who was taking the spot on the top D pair for Carl Gunnarsson. Back around to James Van Riemsdyk. Van Riemsdyk takes a shot in front and scores! Phil Kessel gets an early goal less than 2 minutes into this game. And it is already 1-0 for the Leafs. Kessel's 26 from Van Riemsdyk and Franzen to start today's game. That one should have been corralled by Bishop. That one was a bad rebound and it went straight to Kessel, who had to reach a bit back for it, but was able to slot that one home with ease. The Leafs' leading goal scorer continues his tear and is higher than a point per game average so far this year. But Lupul, to start it off, he goes for the backhander, and that's blocked by Matt Carl. Carl around to Plot. Plot into the middle, that's intercepted. Kuhlman fighting his way. He's going to take the shot, and a nice save by Bishop. The rebound is saved again by Bishop. Eric Brewer with the puck, passing it up to Filppula, and now Andre Palat. Palat circling around, stolen by Lupul, and stolen back. Palat takes a short backhander, and the rebound is in front, and Ryan Malone is unable to bury as Jonathan Bernier slides out. Some action early on, and Filppula scores! It is tied up early, and looks like we're going to have a high-scoring game with how much action we've had so far. 2 quick goals. Valtteri Filppula's 19th of the year, and he just came out in front, and I'm not sure what the defense was doing there. If you see here, Gardner circles around and tries to hit Malone. I'm not sure what that one was about. But nonetheless, a defensive mistake, and it is all tied up already. Filppula from Malone and Brewer. And the Leafs send out the first line again. Bozak wins the draw. Franzen up to Kessel. Phil Kessel dekes inside, cuts outside, and a nice shot, but that's stopped by the big Ben Bishop. And now Callahan has a 2-on-1. A defensive mistake from Phaneuf. And the backhander stopped, and the rebound is stopped as well. Bernier standing tall. Purcell in front, unable to get there. Phaneuf fighting his way. Franzen with the puck up to James Van Riemsdyk, who gets hit hard, but Bozak gets the puck, circling around, and goes back up to Van Riemsdyk. Van Riemsdyk cuts in. He takes the shot, and that's stopped by Bishop. Stamkos and Kessel fighting along the boards. Kessel trying to get it, but is unable to do so. Sammy Salo up to Stamkos. Steven Stamkos up to Ryan Callahan, and he enters the zone offside. Let's take another look at that one hit. That was a massive hit. Callahan just completely stood up Van Riemsdyk. Not a lot of speed going into that hit, but nonetheless, it was a big hit. Third line comes out for the Leafs, Raymond, Boland, and Bodie. And Boland lost the draw. Dumped into the zone by Brewer and knocked out by Gleason. Now on the counterattack. Bodie cuts into the middle, and he takes the slap shot, and that's deflected. Richard Panik up to Tyler Johnson. Johnson cutting in. He gets checked. Still gets the puck, and Brett Connolly takes the shot, and that's wide. Fighting for it in front, Gardner. Up to Kuhlman. That entire third line of the Lightning is all rookies, I believe. But Eric Brewer up to Brett Connolly. Connolly into the middle. That's intercepted. Now Kadri on the counterattack. Kadri tries to deke around. Does so, and it is unable to get it in front. A nice stop from Bishop, I guess, as he was the one who got in front of that pass. But now Ryan Malone gets hit hard Now Filppula in front. The rebound is covered up by Bernier. Some nice pressure from both teams as Gardner having some words with Ryan Malone again. Not sure what's going on there. But a nice chance for the Lightning there. Unable to capitalize. But now 5:22 left in the first. Fourth line comes out for Tampa. Paul Ranger getting his first action of the year, actually. He's been on the roster the entire year as Phil Kessel takes a shot that goes wide. But Paul Ranger hasn't been in a single game this year, sorry. He hasn't had the opportunity to, as the defense has been so rock solid. Randy Carlyle hasn't really wanted to change anything up. So Paul Ranger gets his first action of the year today. And let's see what he can do with it. Bishop throws it out to Hedman. Hedman passes up to Nate Thompson, who goes up to Killorn. Killorn over to Hedman. Hedman takes a slap shot, and that's turned away. Now Ranger. And Riley misses the puck off of the Ranger. Giveaway, and that scores! Pyatt scores off of the Ranger mistake, and I think that Ranger actually put that in himself. We're going to have to take a look at the replay. Tom Pyatt's 5th of the year, unassisted. Let's see here. Takes a shot, and yeah, that actually went in off of Paul Ranger. If you see here, takes a shot, and then Paul Ranger tips it in himself. Ooh, that didn't look very good. As you see here on this better replay, Paul Ranger goes back to try to get it and accidentally tips it through Bernier's pads. And that's not the way that you want to gain the trust of the coach, especially Randy Carlyle. But Kadri had to take the draw, and shockingly enough, Paul Ranger comes off the ice as Callahan enters offside again. 26.2 left in the first. Stamkos is the leading scorer for the Lightning. Through 54 games, has 55 points. Both teams have a point-per-game scorer. However, Kessel does have more points. Gleason up to Lupul. Less than 10 to go here. Lupul deking around, and he misses the net. 5 seconds left. Gudas up, and that is the end of the period. Not much action. I'm just kidding. There was a lot of action in that period. But nonetheless, the Leafs are behind 2-1 off of a Paul Ranger mistake. Leafs were able to capitalize early, but was retaliated quickly by the Lightning. Some good pressure afterwards. But this is the mistake by Paul Ranger that makes it 2-1 for the Lightning headed into the second. Welcome back here to the second, as the Lightning have a 2-1 lead here at home for them. Again, set up, and both first lines come out. Stamkos versus Bozak. The Leafs dominated the face-off dot, going 6 for 7. Will they continue that trend? Yes, they will. Phaneuf up to Van Riemsdyk, and a quick attack already. Van Riemsdyk going to circle around and give it to Phaneuf. Phaneuf going into the middle, tries to take a shot, but it gets checked. Rebound in! Somehow, Bishop was able to see that shot from Bozak. But now Callahan on the counterattack gets destroyed by Franzen. And now Kessel entering the zone. He's going to try the short side shot, but that's stopped by Bishop. And we're going to have to take another look at that Bozak shot. I have no clue how Bishop was able to track where that puck was. Pass goes in front, and somehow Bozak wasn't able to bury that one. A nice stop from Bishop. Second lines meet. Kadri wins the draw back to Gleason. Gleason takes a snapshot and scores! Tim Gleason ties it up early in the second. And the offensive onslaught continues. Tim Gleason, second of the year from Kadri. Right off the face-off dot. Just brings it to his forehand, takes a slap shot. And Ryan Malone was unable to block that one. If he got down a second earlier, that one would have been blocked. But nonetheless, Tim Gleason scores. And everybody stays out, actually, because... Oh, everybody stays out for the Leafs, excuse me. But Brewer over to Carl. Matt Carl dumps it in. Kuhlman back to get the puck, is unable to do so. So Gardner gets it. Passes up to Kuhlman. Kuhlman across ice to Lupul, I believe that is. Lupul takes the short side shot, and that's turned away by Bishop. A nice stop there. And a nice deke there. That would have been a beautiful goal, but an even better stop. And speaking of Lupul, Lupul has points in his last 6 games. He's on quite the point streak, looking to continue that tonight. Bozak to take the draw for the Leafs. Wins it. Back to Franzen, who dumps it back around to Bozak. Bozak going low to Kessel, and Kessel is unable to corral it, and it's dumped around. Check by Bozak, excuse me. And the Lightning are in the zone. Dump it around. Franzen around to Kessel. Kessel up to Bozak. Bozak over to Van Riemsdyk. Van Riemsdyk cuts inside, cuts outside, takes a shot, and that's wide. Franzen takes a quick shot, and the rebound nearly sneaks in. Kessel was unable to get a stick on it, and it was covered up by Bishop. Had been giving Kessel a few choice words there. But the offensive zone face-off for the Leafs. The rookie line versus the second line for the Leafs. And Kadri wants to draw. Gleason takes a quick shot, and that's gloved by Bishop, and he will cover up instead of passing out. And we'll try that again after showing you a replay. Just kidding. No, we're not going to show you a replay because that would be pointless. Same lineup, except Kadri loses the draw this time. Brewer over to Johnson after a deflected pass. Johnson dumps it around. Brett Connolly up to Brewer, who goes up to Panic, who circles around. Matt Carl over to Richard Panic. Panic back around to Brewer, and now Carl, who passes up to Brett Connolly, who's got space. Deaking, unable to get the puck, and now Kadri up to Lupul. Lupul, cross ice to Kuhlman. Kuhlman cutting in. He's going to take the shot, but a nice stop by Bishop. Gleason pinching up there, but now there's some defense missing. But Gardner up to Bodie. Goes cross ice to Raymond. And then Raymond's no-look pass to Boland is off the mark. But Bodie got there first, and now Boland tries to take the slap shot, but that's unable to get through. Brewer around to Purcell. Purcell goes around to Brewer. Brewer goes back around to Purcell. Purcell goes back around to Brewer. And finally Brewer takes it up. Callahan enters it himself and gets rocked. Fighting down low, Phaneuf wins it over Purcell. Kessel cuts inside. And that shot is way off the mark. I'm not sure if he intentionally shot it down there or just had a malfunction. But Callahan loses the puck to Bozak. Bozak across to Kessel. And Kessel bats it out of midair. Unable to score off of it. The original pass was intended for Kessel. Got popped up in the air. And Kessel knocks it out of midair. But a nice chance there for Kuhlman. But a nice save by Bishop. The Lightning have yet to get a shot this period so far. 8-0 for the Leafs. As Kadri loses the draw. Oland up to Pyatt. Tom Pyatt, who was credited the goal after the Paul Ranger mistake. As Paul Ranger is actually back out on the ice for the first time since the blunder. Kadri stops in a nice stop. And the rebound is cleared out by Bishop. Covered up, excuse me, not cleared out. But a nice stop there nonetheless. Bishop has played well so far. He's faced 15 shots, has allowed 2. Both goals, well, one goal should have been stopped. The other one didn't really have much chance on the bomb by Gleason. As that goes straight to Bishop's glove. He didn't even really have to move on that one. Gardner's shot. Another offensive zone face-off for the Leafs. They've had a fair few of these today. Bozak wins the draw. Gardner takes a quick shot, and that's deflected wide. Salo. Sammy Salo taking it himself. And now passes it, and that one's deflected. Gleason back to get the puck. Whacks it, and Filppula takes a shot. Rebound, and now cleared out. And now Salo dumps it back in. Few seconds left. Van Riemsdyk unable to get the puck. Filppula dumps it down, and that's the end of the second. Not as much scoring as the first. Leafs only scored 1, but it is a tie game headed into the third. Some good chances, especially for the Leafs. Tampa didn't really have much in that period besides a couple chances there at the end of the period. But off of this rocket from Tim Gleason, That has made it 2-2. Welcome back here to the third period at the Tampa Bay Times Forum. It is a tied-up game at 2 as the first lines come out to start the third. Tim Gleason scored the only goal in the last period off of a rocket early in the second, and Tampa wins the opening draw. Salo will take it in himself. Bozak got blown up there by Callahan, and now Stamkos down low. Circling around. Passes back to Hedman, and Hedman's tip shot scores! Early in the period. Sounds like something we've said so far twice today. But Callahan's 22nd of the year from Purcell and Hedman. A nice tip. Hedman's shot was a perfect placement for the tip. And Bernier didn't really have much chance to stop that one off of the tip. So early on, makes it 3-2, Callahan from Purcell and Hedman. And that's a way to gain momentum early on in the period. Pass back to Palat, goes into Brewer, and now Ryan Malone. Over to Brewer and into Carl. Carl's quick shot is stopped. And now Gardner fighting for it with Palat, and Malone's shot is blocked. Filppula. Back to Carl. Carl's shot is blocked. Carl gets another chance, and Palat is unable to get the rebound. Now Kuhlman taking it in himself, cutting outside. Takes a shot, and that's stopped by Bishop. Now Eric Brewer up to Filppula. Valtteri Filppula dumps it in. And around for Gleason. Tim Gleason passes up to Bozak. Bozak, a nice quick deke. And takes the stop shot. No, gets hit. And now Carl up to Purcell. Teddy Purcell taking it in himself. He's going to try to go around. Gets checked. And now Franzen around to Phil the Thrill Kessel. Kessel is unable to get the shot away. Van Riemsdyk in front. And his pass in front is smothered by Bishop. But let's take another look at that one chance. Who was it? Kuhlman, yes. Kuhlman's chance. Tried going short side. Unable to get it. That's happened a lot so far. Kuhlman has had a chance like that earlier. But now the third line for the Leafs. Bodie. Back to Paul Ranger. Takes a stop shot, and that's wide. Not wide, excuse me. Stopped. Brett Connolly gets the puck now. Back to Gudas. Radko Gudas up to Johnson, who goes back to Oland and over to his defensive pair partner. Gudas, who goes up to Johnson, and now Connolly. Connolly gets destroyed! I'm not sure who hit him, but Raymond on the counterattack. Cutting inside, cutting outside, and is unable to get a shot away. Morgan Riley pinching up. Tyler Johnson gets away from him. Back to Gudas and up to Oland, who goes back to Gudas. Now Brett Connolly over to Tyler Johnson. Johnson back to Oland. Oland circles around and passes over to Gudas, but that passes off the mark and over to Connolly. Up to Oland. 6 minutes left in this period. Oland over to Pyatt, and Pyatt enters the zone offside. Paul Ranger was the one who actually destroyed Connolly on that one. A huge hit. Lucky Connolly didn't bash his head hard or get injured. But nonetheless, a nice hit. 6:27 left in the period. Will the Leafs be able to retaliate and send this to overtime? Hedman. Over to Salo. Sammy Salo back to Hedman. Up to Purcell. Teddy Purcell. Stopping. Back to Hedman. Hedman's shot is stopped in the... And the chance batted out of midair. I'm sorry about not being able to spit that one out. But shockingly enough, it's Stamkos. Stamkos bats it at a midair. Unable to score this one. But nonetheless, another offensive zone faceoff for the Lightning. They lose the draw. Phaneuf unable to get the pass through. Purcell takes a quick shot, and that's stopped. 3 minutes now for the Leafs to score. Kessel is unable to get the stretch pass. And now the Lightning take a quick slap shot, and that's deflected wide. Hedman on the shot there, former second overall pick. Salo takes a quick shot, and that's stopped. Stamkos over to Hedman, takes a quick shot, and that's stopped. Actually blocked, excuse me. Hedman fighting for it. Purcell. Now Kessel. Kessel up to Van Riemsdyk. Van Riemsdyk cutting inside. Takes a shot, scores! James Van Riemsdyk with 53.5 seconds left in the third scores, and this game was likely headed to overtime. Van Riemsdyk's 19th of the year from Kessel and Franzen. Cuts in, and a beautiful shot, top shelf. Bishop probably should have had that one. Wasn't really expecting a shot there. But nonetheless, a nice goal from James Van Riemsdyk. Ties up this one. It is 3-3. Filppula wins the draw. Salo over to Hedman. Up to Palat. Andre Palat gets destroyed by Franzen. And now Kessel up to Bozak. Will the Leafs be able to get another one? No, offside. 43.4 left. Let's take another look at that Franzen hit on Palat. That one was a doozy. A huge hit on Palat, similar to the Paul Ranger one on Connolly there earlier in the period. Second line comes out for the Leafs, likely to end this game. Filppula wins to draw. Salo passes off the mark. And Gleason actually missed his hit. But now Kadri up to Lupul. Joffrey Lupul on the break. Dekes around his man and loses the puck. Excuse me. Palat fighting for it. Dumps it around. Salo. Leafs pressuring. Palat up to Ryan Malone. Ryan Malone entering the zone. Gets checked. Still has the puck. Malone 10 seconds left in the period. Malone still has it. Back to the point. Brewer takes a shot. Rebound, scores! Tampa Bay scores with 4.1 seconds left, and that puts the Leafs beyond doubt. 4-3 now. Some defensive errors. Filppula's second of the game and 20th of the year from Brewer and Malone. Looked like Bernier went to cover up the puck. Really should have corralled that rebound better. And Filppula just had wide open net to put that one into. And not much point in playing it the rest of the 4 seconds unless the Leafs get a miracle. Bozak wins the draw. Van Riemsdyk being hit. And Stamkos dumps it. And that is the end of your game. Tampa Bay wins it 4-3. And I'm sorry about not posting a Hut episode. I was trying to, but the audio got messed up. So I'm going to be commentating over that again. And that will be up next. But I'd like to thank you for watching. And have a nice day. I'll leave you here with some highlights. Sucks that we lost with 4 seconds left in the period. But thank you for watching and have a nice day. Goodbye.
And that's going to do it. I'm Gary Thorne on behalf of Bill Clement. We thank you for joining us, and we'll catch you the next time up.